Bienvenido a todos. Imekuwa a minute since the last time I did a live stream because of some things that have been happening in the background. Hopefully you're doing well. Welcome to the first. Is it the first ever? I think it's the Mr. Producer. First ever? First ever. First ever transfer talk stream. I don't think last year when I was making those videos, let us not talk about them. But anyway, zilikuwa za kwanza. You can't shit on yourself when you begin something. I don't think nishaifanya stream ya transfer. Ama during winter I did. Is it possible that maybe I did something during the winter? Maybe December, January nilifanya stream. Okay, yeah, most likely. So most likely it's not the first. But anyway, I know you get the idea of transfer talk. We talk about different things happening in the transfer window. Although imefungwa, they had opened the transfer window for 10 days because of the clubs that are participating in the Club World Cup, and then they shut it, and then they will open it again in the tukifika July 1st. They will open it again. So hopefully you guys, you're doing well. As always, I want to remind you to hit the like. As always, I want to remind you to hit the like and subscribe and share and all that good stuff. I could take time. I'm not taking a lot of time because some of the news that we'll be talking about are things that have already happened during the course of the week. And without wasting any time, I had planned this show. I can't find the first bookmark that I had placed on Fabrizio's page. But I know you know that Man City have signed Ryan Cherki from Olympique Lyon for 25 million euros. I think it was 25 million euros. A very, very good player. 21 years old. He's still developing, in my opinion. Because even the couple of times I've seen him playing against Man U in the Europa League, for France the other day when they were playing in the Nations League, and a couple of times, you can tell that he still needs some polishing. Bado haja develop ama hajafika kwenye you can say but he has that potential. Akona potential ya climb into the stairs and take himself to the world class level. There's no doubt about that. The talent is there, it's crazy. Na me, I think personally he's a but again I'm having a lot of thoughts. You have been thinking about zile vitu zenye naweza sema during the transfer stream. But I wanted to say that he's one of the players that you wouldn't expect Man City to sign, but Man City have signed in one way or the other. Unge expect Ryan Cherki akuwe signed by Man City, but Man City wamemsign. And according to most of you, wacha tuseme nisiseme most of you because that is very offensive. Someone is texting me. Anyway, nimezima. I wanted to say that he's not the kind of player you'd expect Man City to sign, considering how you guys think that Man City's system is so fixed and it's so rigid because of Pep. But they've signed a player that is considered as a maverick, to say the least. Ule player mwenye he just does what he wants with the ball. I know most of you think that Pep has this thing whereby he tells his players to calm down, to stop doing the fancy things. Maybe when it comes to Grealish, that was the case. But tukiamua kufungua the books ama the history records, uangalie the amount of creative players wenye Pep amekuwa kimanage during his career from 2008, akina Messi, akina Xavi, akina Iniesta, David Silva akiwa Man City, De Bruyne, akina Sane, akina Sterling, tukienda Bayern, akina Ribery, akina Robben. How wote you will never say that Pep aliwaambia pass the ball behind, keep it simple. Grealish ndiye amefunza watu hii tabia. And this is a small rant about Grealish. Yeah, because he was bought for 100 million, it was watu walikuwa wanajua tu most likely itafail. Si ati itafail, but there's nowhere angekuwa bought for 100 million and then I impress. Juu kuna mtu angeishi tu kusema but alinunuliwa 100 million and that is a lot of money and hajafikisha potential yake. That is true, of course, because of what is happening. I'm seeing that a couple of days, 2 days ago, he was left out of the Man City squad to go for the Club World Cup. Na sasa ni kama he's looking for a loan. Most likely he's going to part ways with Man City during this summer. But that being said, usikubali Grealish, that one incident, ikuonesha that Pep is a bad manager, ama is a manager that cannot coach creative players, because he had possibly the biggest creative player in Messi. Did he ruin Messi? Unajua watu wanasamanga Pep ruins players. Pep aliharibu Messi. Kwa watu wenye huwa mnasema Pep anaharibu players. Akina Sterling na akina Sane back in 18-19. Was it 18-19? No, was it 17-18? Yes, hizo seasons mbili when they were playing good football, transitional football, did he ruin them? De Bruyne, another creative head mwenye amekuwa under Man City's under Pep Guardiola's management for a long time. Did Pep ruin him? I don't think so. So this is me saying that those people that are saying that Chucky going to Man City, Pep is going to ruin him, Pep is going to prevent him, he's going to change his game, obviously. Because huwezi kuwa player mwenye unashikanga ball wewe unataka tu kupiga juu. Kutakuwa na some changes to his game, obviously. But pia nimekuwa nikiangalia stats zake, maybe I should throw them on the screen as you're talking, because hii conversation ya the first kama ni first 5 to 10 minutes itakuwa around Chucky Vats will be going back and forth between the two players. But yeah, Chucky is going to Man City, Florian Wirtz is going to Liverpool for 150. Is it 150 million euros? Hiyo ni kitu kama 130 pounds I think. But Man City wamenunua Chucky for 25. Now, sasa hapo it's another point to nini in this discussion. I'm so excited. Sijaongea about football in a long time. Kama the last 1 week I haven't talked to anyone about football. So hopefully you guys you're not feeling annoyed with how excited I am. But nilikuwa nasema that Man City, wacha turudishe clock nyuma. Let us go back. In the summer, Man City wamekuwa linked na in the summer, during the season, Man City wamekuwa linked na Vats, and we all saw the negotiations. Wakasema they've been in contact since January. Things look like they are going to work out for Man City and Vats, and then the following anaenda hadi Manchester, anakuwa anapigwa picha akionekana in the nini in Manchester Stadium, anaenda alimit wase wa Man City, alimit Khaldoon. So everyone thinking the guy is joining City, obviously. And then the following day, kunakuwa na reports that they also met with Liverpool people, ama Liverpool management. Watu wako like, me, I was one of them. Nilikuwa like, no, it's not. I make sense. I remember even during a stream, nilisema that, nah, there's no chance that yame meet na watu wa Liverpool. Nikasema Liverpool are not willing to spend that amount of money. And then 2 weeks zika unfold, Man City wame pull out of the transfer. We were all very angry with that as Man City fans. Tunajiuliza, why are they not willing to pay this amount of money, and so on. Naona Collins ameweka comment hapa, nitakuja kuicomment discuss about it. Why are they not paying this amount of money for him? And then reports zinatoka that Man City felt that hiyo package yenye walikuwa offer Vats for maybe 300 million. The reason is 300 kwa sababu pesa inaongezeka hadi kihesabu wages na transfer fee na bonuses. They were not feeling that it was the amount of money you want to spend on only one player. Tukasema Man City they're only doing PR, wamekataliwa, they are moving on, and then Vats anaenda na join Liverpool. The first kama 2 days no one is believing it. So I'm recapping the Vats transfer shenanigans. Amejoin Liverpool, he said yes to Liverpool, he's joining Liverpool. Liverpool wakaanza negotiations zao. On the other side, Man City tuko like, yeah, we had targeted this guy since January in a low-key way. We've missed out on him. Okay, let's not panic. They get Nini Reinders, Aït-Nouri, another good player mwenye Man City wamesigned during the last 2 weeks, during last week. And then reports za Sharky and Man City zinaanza, lakini nasikia watu wanamuita Sharky, Ryan Sharky. Tukaanza 25 million, is a good player, and then he played that game against Spain in the Nations League semi-final, and then everyone woke up to him. Ameona Mbeumo Chucky amescore. Did you see how crazy that goal is? Did you see aliingia 25 minutes, 1 goal, 1 assist, and then game ikaisha, France wakalose, aka-confirm that he's going to Man City. So the bottom line is, one player wamemnunua for 25 million Man City, na Liverpool wamenunua Florian Wirtz for 130 million. Do I think Vats is ahead of him at this time? Yes. Do I think the gap is that big that minus 130 from 125 gap and you go between those two players, the 105? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, I'm not blaming Liverpool for buying him for 130, but I'm giving Man City credit for buying Chucky for 25. I hope you people, you're understanding the difference. In my mind, kama ningenunua Ryan Chucky, ama kama kuna price yenye neza mcategorize ingekuwa 50 to 70 million, somewhere hapo in between. But the fact that Man City have gotten him for 25 inamaanisha hao ndio wako na advantage now. at the end of the day, ama when everything ends, what matters is what the two players do on the field. Tuliona, I'm ending this conversation hapa. Tuliona Grealish how the 100 million budget fee ama the fee ilikuwa inakuwa heavy kwake na ilikuwa inatumika sana kumreference. Will the same thing happen to Florian Wirtz when he goes to Liverpool, considering they've won the EPL last season ama this season yenye imeisha, and then yeye ndiye amekuja as their big player. I know they've said they've signed his buddy anaitwa Florian Frimpong from Leverkusen, the same team. But do we think that Wirtz atafeel pressure? Na ujue ni 130 million new player in the EPL amejoin the current champions. Liverpool wako na wars zao, as much as they won the EPL. Usisahau pia kuna parts wanafaa kustrengthen kama defensive midfielder. Maybe another option is a striker. I don't think so. I don't think Wirtz anaweza atafumble. I know that sounds as the easier option. The crazy thing ni kusema atafumble, but me I think he's a good player. He's a good player for Liverpool. I would even see, if I was him, I would understand why he chose to join Liverpool instead of Man City. I see the reasons. Naweza ona reason ya playing style ina fit in more to him, ina suit venye anataka kucheza. Akienda huko, it's going to sound bad, but anaweza call shots, but atakuwa part of the plans. Kama tu venye Bellingham alikuwa bought for 105 million by Real. You don't expect Real Madrid to play more than, you expect Real to play 70% to 90% of their games with Bellingham. In the same way, Florian Wirtz akienda Liverpool for that amount of money, 130 ama sijui 150, you will expect that he atakuwa part of that team consistently. Ukiangalia side ya Man City, which is the other team yenye alikuwa linked nayo, Jack Grealish bro, acha tumuite Jack for now. Jack akijoin Man City, hakuna mtu angesema the same thing venye tunasema for Wirtz, because we know Pep is going to rotate all day every day. Ata rotate, kuna times hata anaweza rotate hata goalkeepers, ana rotate everyone. So me, I think him deciding to join Liverpool, it's good for him. But sasa ita depend kama he'll be able to land the Liverpool team to where he's supposed to. Now another advantage ya join Liverpool is the fact that he can also play as a 10. As much as he can play as a left winger, Florian Wirtz, he can also play as a 10. Na hiyo Liverpool system, it needs a 10. Hawajakuwa wakicheza na number 10, wamekuwa wakicheza na 2 number 8s, that is Szoboszlai and McAllister, and then Gravenberch behind them. For most of the games, kuna mtu atapick out ile game moja yenye hawakucheza hivyo aseme mimi ni fraud. No. 70 to 90% of the games zenye wamekuwa wakicheza na McAllister, Szoboszlai. Kuna time Szoboszlai alikuwa ameanza kufumble, especially in the earlier parts of the season. But in the second part of the season, alikuwa consistent. Gravenberch, you know how he played well as the 6. So Wirtz akona positions mbili anaweza cheza for them. Angeenda Man City kungekuwa na mambo mingi sana. So I understand him personally why he chose Liverpool, and that is the end of that debate. Wacha tumalize na side ya Ryan Cherki. Now, Ryan Cherki akienda Man City, advantage yake ya kwenda Man City ni, we know he's a right winger who plays akidrift akiingia ndani. I think we saw that very well ile siku when they played against Man U. He's a right winger who drifts centrally, anacheza katikati. Very, very strong with both feet. Very good set piece taker, in my opinion. But bado mi naona anaweza fit Man City pia yeye, because yeye ni right winger mwenye anaingia katikati. Unajua shida ya Man City hatujakuwa na good right winger in a long time. Najua kuna mtu atasema Savio, but Savio ideally his best position is left winger, whereby he can cross the ball using his left foot. Ile side nyingine ya left wing kumekuwa na Grealish, Doku, Savio pia huko, au ni left wingers. Side ya right tumeona Foden akicheza huko a couple of times, and the disagreement that I have with Foden playing there is that mara mingi anashindwa kucheza in that position, in short. Juu yake akijipata one on one, yes, kama Savio ama Doku mwenye ata take on that player constantly. So I think Cherki is going to be a good fit. I think Man City wame go with the low risk option, in my opinion. And wame go with the low risk option. But Liverpool won the EPL, they have the money. That is the excuse that we are going to make for Liverpool. Acha nisome hii comment moja ya Collins. A progressive carrying midfielder was turned into a right back by that terror. Which progressive carrying midfielder? Who are you talking about? Bernardo Silva? Una mention. Who are you referring to when you say that a progressive ball carrying midfielder was turned into a right back by that terror? Just mention ni nani? Alafu ukimention toa list ya players wenye work out na wenye ja work out kwa hiyo conversation ya Pep as you're doing that. Aya, acha tafute Matthias Cunha. Najua nilikuwa nimesema I'm not taking more than 30 minutes. But sasa zile bookmarks zenye nilikuwa nimesave za bro, I'm seeing De Bruyne in Napoli Napoli, De Bruyne is in Napoli, Son is in Galatasaray. Sterling can't even get a game. Man City ni kama old guards wote washa deep. Aya, Trent alijoin akaongea Spanish during the press conference, watu wakashangaa. He's been planning this for a long time. I think we can all agree on that. Tangu ile time yenye ilikuwa 2022. Ile time yenye Liverpool walishindwa kwa I know Trent hiyo siku alienda akadownload Duolingo on that day. He started taking Spanish lessons on that day. But bro, sipati nini? Sipati news za Matthias Cunha. This is the last time. Nisipozipata on this page, and I'll just talk about it as just a topic without even showing anything on the screen. Now, Matthias Cunha is joining Man U. That is the basic. Sijui mbona I keep hiding it. Ni kama it's a big secret. He's joining Man U from Wolves. Very good player this season, very good. Okay, so wenye wamepost hapa ni kitu wenye haiwezi tusaidia, but yeah, Matthias Cunha is joining Man U as I'm pretty sure atakuwa anacheza as one of the number 10s. Aya, tutakuja kuongelelea jamaa anaitwa Thomas Frank, acha tuongelelea hapa. Aya, Manchester United confirm Matthias Cunha 5-year deal plus options until June 2031. 62 million deal. 62 million. But I guess walipoteza 80 million on Anthony. So I don't think ati yao wako worried about 62. I'm not saying they will lose the money on Cunha, but I think atasaidia sana in the current Amorim system. Yeye atasaidia sana in the current Amorim. Naona Khalid anasema si joining. He has already unajua akili yangu iko nyuma na kama siku 3, sijui mbona. 12 Juni jana, leo ni date. Learn that in there. I should start bringing more latest news. See mambo zilipita. But yeah, I think here he'll be very good in that Amorim system. Playing as one of the 10s. He's a very good player on the ball. He's a very good finisher. But sasa now the challenge with him ni that step up. And najua kuna mtu atasema Man U alimaliza number 15. So I step up si kubwa. But I think we understand what I'm saying. Kuchezea Man U na kuchezea Wolves ni tofauti. Mi sijui mbona some people wanacheka Manchester Arsenal paid 120 to West Ham. Yes, but yeah, 120 ya Rice ina make sense because of English task. Tax. Nimekaa bila kuongea bana hadi na fumble. 120 ya Rice unajua iko na kama ka 20 million juu ya nini? Juu ya English quota ama English tax. Matthias Cunha is Brazilian, so ya kuja na expensive. Unaona kama ingekuwa English mngelipa 80. Ingekuwa expensive by 80 million. Ingekuwa expensive by 20 million. But yeye, he's a good player. I think atasaidia, especially unaona hiyo kitu ya goal scoring yenye mna struggle nayo Man U. Yeye ataongezea hizo bao 10. So kama angekuwa this season amngemaliza na goal difference negative. He's going to assist you in terms of goal scoring. Na sasa nikiangalia Matthias Cunha, I don't think that sasa shida ni waende kumchezesha as a striker. Wakienda kumweka katikati acheze as the sole number 9. Kwanza the first few games anaweza struggle vibaya sana. Kwa sababu it's a new position yenye hajazoea and a new manager mwenye hajazoea. So mimi I would keep him as one of the 10s. One of the two 10s. Nimeona stories zenyu na Mbeumo, Brian Mbeumo, tunakuja kuongelelea hizo in the next segment kwa sababu hii ni Manu alafu tuongelelee Mbeumo. But mimi I would play him as the left 10. And seeing him, I think Manu fans, you already know that the fact that Cunha is here inamaanisha your boy Garnacho is leaving. Morgan is crying. Unaona since Garnacho tulijua is leaving, Morgan has been crying every day since that day. But yeah, I think as the left 10, I'm already seeing him play as the left 10. Hii side ingine ya right 10 naweza nunua Mbeumo for the same amount of money. I would buy Mbeumo for the same amount of money. If you add Mbeumo and you add Matthias Cunha in your team, you have improved, especially when it comes to goal scoring. Manu tafuta news za Mbeumo sizipati. Where is the news zenye nilikuwa nimeweka za Barcelona wamenunua goalkeeper hapo pale. Fabrizio hajapost. Hiyo kitu ya Mbeumo. But Mbeumo, in other news, okay, wacha tuongelelei because this is more important. Caicedo 115 million, Enzo 107. Yeah. For Caicedo na nani ilikuwa expensive sana. But sasa ni kama imeanza kupay off sahi. Pesa ya Caicedo na pesa ya Caicedo na pesa ya Enzo Fernandez. It has started paying up, especially last season, although najua wameshinda tu only Conference League. Nico Williams U-turn, he wants Barca. Is that latest news? Acha tutafute. I haven't seen that U-turn that you're talking about. Acha nitafute Nico Williams. But I had seen his camp and Bayern had met up during the course of this week. But he met with Barcelona. Interesting. Yes. Interesting. Thank you very much, Catalan 094. I'm also seeing Fabrizio has posted the same news. U-turn, as you have captured it perfectly, saying it's a U-turn. After meeting with Bayern twice, this is breaking news. Do we classify this as breaking news because it has happened only 8 minutes ago? After meeting with Bayern twice during the course of this week, Nico Williams met with Barcelona today, as reported by Sport. And Lamine Yamal has just shared a picture on Instagram account. Does that mean that the challenge with Nico Williams, for me, the challenge with him, it's not even the amount of money that you are going to buy him, because it's estimated around 65 million euros. I'm okay with paying that for Barcelona or for whoever. The challenge with him is the wages that he's on, because he earns about 230 euros, 232,000 euros per week. That is a lot of money for Barcelona. I think the challenge that Barcelona have is when it comes to his wages, because I think buying him for 65 million, they would, because they did the same thing last year with Dani Olmo. They bought Dani Olmo for 60 million, but we know that his wages were not a problem. But the fact that the fact that Nico Williams earns about 200k per week, I think that's the only issue that Barcelona have with him. It is when it comes to personal agreements, or when it comes to wages. Because I think if they agree on that, they are going to pay that 65 million very easily. I was convinced that he might join Bayern because I know Bayern can provide that money easily. They can easily pay him 230k per week. I think so. But if he's earning 230 currently, if he's going to join a new team, he's going to earn more than that. He's not going to join Bayern Munich for 150 when he has been earning 230 at Athletic Bilbao. So meaning that most likely the cheapest you're going to pay him per week is most likely 250. So I think that is the point, that is the challenge that Barcelona wamekuwa experience na Nico Williams, is the fact that they are unable to negotiate his wages. I'm pretty sure the 65 million, they will pay it. I think the part that is difficult for Barcelona is the wages. I'm also seeing for the 3 are saying the same thing. Breaking Deco met with Nico Williams' agent, according to Diario Sport, the player has sparked strong market interest due to his 60. Yes, this you see, this is very cheap. 62 million for him is very cheap. Release clause, writes Carlos. Now the real move has begun with both Arsenal and Bayern willing to pay the release clause. Now, at the end of the day, I think if all the clubs are put on his table, I think he's going to choose Barcelona. Maybe I'm going to be a bit biased because I support Barca, but we've seen the history with Barcelona players in the national team, history with Lamine Yamal. If all the clubs are able to pay 62 million and they are all able to pay him the amount of money that he wants, I think he's going to choose Barca, considering that even Barcelona is in Spain. Yeah, there are more incentives to join Barcelona compared to the other teams. Now, if they don't agree on the wages, I will see him joining the other clubs. I would also see him joining Chelsea. I was thinking that he might join Chelsea because that is one of the points that I wanted to talk about between Chelsea, Arsenal, and Bayern. But we've seen the breaking news that has happened a couple of minutes ago. I think this is going to change everything. Okay, someone is managing Barca. Nico Williams prefers joining Barcelona over other clubs. The only thing that is remaining is for them to agree on the wages. I think we can all agree on that. If they agree on the wages, he's going to join Barcelona easily. I'm pretty sure it could have happened last summer. But sasa last summer kulikuwa na stories za anashindwa kama join kwa sababu ya anataka kucheza Europa League, inachezwa kwa final ya club yao and such. But mimi I'm seeing hizi club zote zikiwekwa kwa meza, I'm seeing him choose Barcelona easily. Nico Williams, it's not happening. Haijakuwa confirmed. Barnes. Na hata hawa watu wenye wanareport hizi, are they reliable sources? But the fact that tumeona hii ya 433 na hii pia ya Fabrizio inamaanisha kumekuwa na changes in the transfer in terms of Nico Williams. Lamine Yamal pia amepost 3 minutes ago. Does that mean wameagree ama inamaanisha nini? Because unajua Lamine Yamal pia anapenda kutease people with nini? With with Instagram account yake. I've seen people were hating on Lamine Yamal after they lost to Portugal, but that is a story for another day. Just some comments. Kepa to Arsenal, yeah. Kepa to Arsenal. Has it been confirmed? I saw it during the earlier parts of the week that is going to join as their second choice goalkeeper. I think so. Maybe he's a good option, but sasa yeye amechezea clubs ngapi? Amechezea Chelsea, ameenda Real, alikuwa Atletico ama alikuwa Villarreal, sasa anaenda Arsenal. But why would Kepa? I know the screen iko kwa Nico Williams, but I'm going to ask this question. After playing over 38 games for Bournemouth and having a pretty decent season for Bournemouth, why would you choose to go and sit on the bench for Arsenal? I know Arsenal plays in the Champions League, plays in the FA Cups, but like, you've been playing the entire season. You're only going to go to Arsenal to be sitting on the bench. Most likely, when you go to Arsenal as their second choice goalkeeper, you'll only play a maximum of 15 games in one season. You will only play maximum 15. Usikuwa natafuta huyo fraud Fabrizio. Fabrizio is reliable, bro. There's a couple of times he's dropped the ball, but I think he's reliable. I'm being told that Gerard Romeo is talking about it. Maybe I can listen to it with my little Spanish my Spanish lessons that I never finished. Gerard Romero. I think he does the Twitter streams. Is he live ama what's happening? Yeah, naona sasa something else has happened in the Nico Williams story I'm seeing. Gerard Romero is saying that Nico Williams is willing to lower his demands to join Barcelona. You see, this is what I was talking about. If he does that and they agree on the wages, it's done. Barcelona will just take him because he fits the Barcelona system perfectly. Although this season he hasn't been that good. by his standards. But I think if Barcelona and Nico Williams agree on the wages, it's done. 62 million or 65, whichever it is, he's going to sign for the Catalan club. I think Barcelona fans will be very happy with that. Because last season or last summer, I was one of the people that was against the 60 million for Dani Olmo, because I was saying that same 60 million should be used on Nico Williams. But apparently they didn't agree on wages last season, or on demands. But if this is true, according to Gerard Romeo, he's saying that Nico Williams is willing to lower his demands to join Barcelona. I think that's the latest news on that. Is there anything else I'm seeing? 28 minutes ago, Barca wanted Nico Williams to take his first step this summer. Okay, I'm going to tell you why they wanted. Okay, someone is dancing. It's because it's the after Barcelona chased him a lot last year. It didn't work out. Shut up. It didn't work out. So the reason why they wanted him to make the first move is because they wanted to be sure that he wants to join them. But if this is true, according to Gerard Romeo, the fact that he's saying that he's willing to lower his demands, it means that Barcelona have already, they are most likely they've agreed on something. Leroy Sane to Galatasaray, hizo tunazidiscuss tu sai. Wacha niende kwa aya, tumezunguka sana. Wacha tumalize na story ya Mbeumo. We were talking about Mbeumo. Brian Mbeumo. I was saying that Matthias Cunha and Brian Mbeumo as the two number 10s for United would be very exciting for Man U fans. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they add goals to that team. I would take it further and say how really they add 30 goals to that team in the EPL. That is Mbeumo and Nani and oh my god, Mbeumo and Matthias Cunha, because they are very good when it comes to goal scoring. But sasa lazima kukuwe na parts zingine zenye zina work together. If that happens, inamaanisha Bruno Fernandes atacheza nyuma alongside either Casemiro ama Ugarte, and then they will still have the same strikers. Because if Man U spend 60 million, 63 on Cunha, and then they spend another 63 on Mbeumo, it means that wamefika 120. And I'm not seeing them buying another striker unless they decide to spark the connection between Gyökeres and their coach, who is Amorim. Very difficult. Although nimekuwa nikiona news mingi za Gyökeres. Kali nasema Chelsea want who the fuck is that? Walter. I think you're trying to catch me out with that name. Umeona pesa Liverpool have paid for VAT 100 million plus 16, yeah. Ndio maana nasema, do we think, hata ndio iko, it's still on the screen, let me just share it. Do we think that amount of money is okay to spend on VAT? He can be considered a Liverpool player since Tuesday, as revealed agreement to join clubs. Yeah, I think this agreement happened more than 2 weeks ago. I think we were already sure about that. Liverpool have agreed with Bayern, reaching up to 150 million euros. I think we already knew about that, but that amount of money is crazy amount of money. 150 million euros. I'm pretty sure if Vats wanted to go Man City, I'm pretty sure they would have paid the same amount. I'm pretty sure anyone that wanted him outside. Okay, but Bayern said, not Bayern. Leverkusen said if you want to buy him and you're in Germany, you'll have to pay 150 million euros. If you want to get him and you're outside, you'll have to pay about 130. So I think 130 is the fixed fee. And then you add some add-ons. But 150 million for add-ons. Oof. Liverpool. The last time Liverpool went to this crazy in a transfer window was back in when they were buying Alisson and Van Dijk. Walinunua Van Dijk pesa ngapi? 70 million or something. Vats Liverpool wamefinesiwa. Do you think Liverpool have been finessed? Why? How much do you think the people that you're watching? I know this is old news when it comes to Vats, but let us just speak about it. how much do you think they should have paid? Ama how much would you have paid to bring him to your club? What is the maximum amount of money you would have been willing? If he said yes, and the discussion was between you and Leverkusen, how much money do you think you could have offered before you left the table? And said you can't go beyond that. I'm crazy enough to say I would have paid the same amount of money. If he was joining Man City or Bayern or Barcelona, it could have been the same amount. Okay, Barcelona don't have the financial power to do that. But Man City could have paid the same amount of money. I don't think anyone did it. Even Man U could have paid the same thing. You say, kama Man U angekuwa juu na wanafly venye huwa wanafly. Kama ungekuwa wanafly kama Liverpool, they would have paid the same amount of money. Hakuna mtu mwenye angetoa hiyo 150 at the end of the day. Kama Man U tuseme ndio win league last season, I know that is a very crazy thing to say kwa sababu walimaliza 15th. But kama Man U wangekuwa wana lead, they would have also paid the same amount of money. Hiyo pesa ni mingi. Khalid anasema that money is a lot. We'll see. Unajua pesa ni mingi ama the transfer fee is high if it doesn't work out. 10 years from today, if Vats becomes this crazy player for Liverpool and he leads them to another to about 3 or 4 Premier League titles and adding 3 Champions Leagues on top of on that, Liverpool fans will say it's worthy. But if the opposite happens and he flops, that is when the amount is going to be a big deal, especially for Liverpool. I was shocked that Liverpool are willing to pay this amount of money. They haven't been spending this crazy amounts of money in a long time. I think maybe they're still spending some of that Coutinho money that they got from Barcelona. That being said, what is the last... What other thing can you talk about? We've talked about Mbeumo, Cunha, Vats, Cherki, 39 minutes on the clock. Thomas Frank, and then we call it a day? Thomas Frank, and then we call it a day? I know your boy Postecoglou was sacked. Unajua Spurs fans walikuwa wamechanganikiwa sana. Fans wa Spurs walikuwa wamechanganikiwa because they don't know how to react. Ni kama nyinyi wa Man U. Unajua watu wa Man U sasa ndio mlikuwa mnajifanya mnataka Ten Hag aende after he won you the FA. After aliwin FA mlinyamaza nyinyi wote ukasema sasa mimi sijui tafanya aje. Mimi sasa sijui tafanya aje. Hivyo sasa ni fans wa Man U. Sasa fans wa Spurs walikuwa in the same situation. Walikuwa wanasema sasa tutafanya aje. Wow, huyu jamaa ametusaidia tukawin trophy yetu ya kwanza in 17 years. Wow. Yaani huyu jamaa amefanya to win Europa League trophy. Wow, sasa tutafanya aje, lakini hatuja perform vizuri this season. Wow. Mimi naona tumpatie chance. Wengine wanasema hapana, tumemaliza sijui namba ngapi. Tueni huyu jamaa. I know hadi yao wamekuwa kichanganikiwa sana, but it's crazy. It's crazy. Yani ni crazy tu kwa sababu wako number 17, wamewin Europa League, wanacheza Champions League next season. It's typical Spurs. It's typical Spurs to say the least. Wacha tuweke historia ya nani on the screen, as I think this is going to be the last thing. Okay, Khalid mentioned story ya Sane to Galatasaray. Maybe we'll touch on that, which is very crazy. Official Thomas Frank signs in as the new Tottenham Hotspur manager. Keyword is manager, to replace Ange Postecoglou. Contract until June 2038. He's a very good manager. He's a good manager. But sasa do the expectations change for Spurs? Kwa sababu mimi sasa naona huyu sasa akijoin, expectations za Spurs may change from where they were when they had Postecoglou at the end of last season, even after they won the Europa League. Kwa sababu mimi, if Postecoglou stayed, angekaa na ile pressure ya sasa unaenda kucheza Champions League, sasa kuwa serious in all areas. You need to be serious in all areas. Sasa Thomas Frank, does he give them that excuse ya ni coach mpya so tumpatie season moja, ama yeye akiland kazi yako ni kuanza kudeliver? Akifika kwa Champions League, wakicheza Champions League next season, will we be giving him the excuse of but you know it is his first time coaching Tottenham in the Champions League, so tumpatie benefit of the doubt? What happens? Kwa sababu mimi I would have said if we kama tungekuwa na wangebaki na Ange, it could have been very easy to say whether he's performing well or not. I think sijui kama hiyo statement ina make sense. Kama Anja ingekuwa hapa next season, sisemi angebaki ama hangebaki. I'm just playing the devil's advocate. Because kama angebaki ningesema, are you sure he will deliver next season? But say that the fact that he's gone, I'm also going to ask the same question for Thomas Frank. Ikifika kwa the Champions League nights, in the big Champions League nights, do we think sasa they will be backing him? But he's a very good manager. He's a very good manager. Alikuwa linked na Man U after Ten Hag alienda. Sijui what happened in between hapo. Alikuwa linked na Man U. Alikuwa linked, was he linked with the English with the England job after they got rid of Southgate? I think so. But Spurs wako na mambo mingi sana wanafaa kuimprove if I'm being honest. Spurs, they have a lot of things they should improve. Including their midfield slightly in that number 10. They need to make sure, even if they don't buy someone a new number 10, they need to find a way that Maddison can be as fit as possible. Same thing for their defense line. Van der Ven, Romero. I think Romero he's been linked with Atletico. Has he gone to Atletico? I don't know. Sasa sijui sasa Spurs. Sasa imekuwa sasa a bit more weird. Kwa sababu sasa this summer, will they give Thomas Frank the money that he needs to spend on in Spurs? How much money are they willing to give him? How much money are they willing? Akiamua anataka kusign new players, are they willing to risk it with him? I was calling for Fraud Hag's head, bro. Ten Hag ako Leverkusen, bro. He's forgotten about you. Thomas Frank ako very adaptable. You think so? You think he's very, very adaptable? Nataka nitafute his finish. Kwa wapi Grok? Unajua siku hizi I've fallen in love with Grok. Last 5 years of management in football. Shafika saa 2. Acha nione. Siku hizi I prefer using Grok. FYI. No. Nataka kuona his last finishing. Nataka kuona forget the his last, give me his finishing position in the last 5 seasons. Chatuone amekuwa kiperform aje in the last 5 seasons. Last season walimaliza number 10. Last season walimaliza number 10. Acha imalize kucompile and then I share the screen. We see if he just for my comments before. He was linked with Liverpool job and my sources tell me Liverpool were. Your sources. Your sources. Bro, unatutisha nini? You're threatening us. Your sources. My sources tell me Liverpool was played. So ilikuwa flip ilikuanga inaitwa ajili ya kunini coin. A flip of a coin. So ilikuwa the coin ingeland on anyone between Slot and Frank. Okay, good by you. That is interesting. Naona director of scouting and recruitment James Smith anaenda wa Man City. Anatoka Man City ama anaenda Man City? I think unamaanisha anaenda, acha tuone. James Smith, Man City, 3 hours ago. 3 hours ago. Naona Onstin ndiye ameweka hiyo Bombazo, wacha nitafute Onstin. We see what's happening. Bombazo, Golazzo, Onstin. Kaliduni kama you prefer Onstin to Fabrizio. From the vibe that I'm picking up from you. The vibe that I'm picking up from you. Ni kama you trust David Onstin kuliko our boy Fab. Acha tutoe hii comment kwa screen. Obvious nini David Ornstein, decorated journalist, anasema Liverpool strike verbal agreement with Florian Wirtz. Paperwork to be drafted. Hizi ni 100 million British pounds plus 16 on add-ons. 22-year-old playmaker, medical before completing. Liverpool watamdunga hapo contract ya 5 years. Interesting. I think we all knew about that. I am Man City director of scouting and recruitment James Smith to leave the football club, expected to join Everton on gardening leave before reuniting. What is gardening leave? Unajua wale watu wenye hatujaienda leave. Gardening leave before reuniting with David Moyes, key hire for Everton, with while Hugo Viana ndio the incoming sporting director of Man City. Anyway, Thomas Frank, where do we land on him as a signing for Spurs? How good do we think he is currently, and how good do we think he will be? I think he's a good manager. But sasa this is the next step, and this is when we know if he is truly that good manager. The work that amefanya na Brentford since 20 to share screen. Nilikuwa nimesahau that tulikuwa tuulize Grok itupatie summary ya nini ya huyu jamaa. Aya, tunazoona hapa his last finishes 10th in the EPL with Brentford with 56 points. The season before that alikuwa 16th with 39 points. 9th with 59 points. Okay, 13th in the first season alimaliza 13th. Wacha tusome summary. Grok inakuwa updated very well. I like it. Wacha tusome summary yake ya this season. Brentford rebound to a top 10 finish with 66 goals. Joined 5th led by Mbeumo with 20 goals and Juan Wissa with 12. Present, Frank joined Tottenham Hotspur on 12th June, which was yesterday, replacing Ange Postecoglou. No league data kwa sababu bado season ya next season ijaanza. But that being said, I want to leave there. I don't think kumekuwa na anything else yenye may happen other than the fact that tumeambua Nico Williams amepiga U-turn. That being said, I want to big up yourselves as always. Hit the like, subscribe, share. Tutakuwa nafanya as much as possible to join ama to do transfer talk. Nataka nifanye 1 episode every 2 days. So I want you guys to hold me accountable for that. Leo ni Friday. So meaning the next time tunapatana ni Sunday. Sunday si ndio Club World Cup inaanza. Club World Cup inaanza on Sunday. And then this coming week pia kuna a couple of places I'm going to. So acha tuseme from week ya date 21. Okay, sisemi nitarudi date ya 21. Hata kesho naweza rudi if there is any breaking news. But wacha tuona. Monday tutafanya. Monday we will do something. Monday we will Monday. Don't worry. Wewe just make sure you subscribe na you have the notifications on. Unaona hiyo bell notification yenye inakuanga hapo, make sure it's turned on. Pause. Ndio anytime I go live, whether I am here ama there ama huko ama wapi, you get the notification and you join the conversation. That being said, big up yourselves as always. 52 minutes on it. Tulisema tunafanya show ya only 30 minutes, but as you're leaving, make sure you hit the like. I'll see you guys on the next one. I don't think kuna anything else in happen. Acha to refresh page one more time. Tusiache any news. Pogba anajoin Monaco, no one cares. Unajua Pogba back in 2017 alikuwa one of football's biggest prospects. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Hit the like on your way out. Tapatana next time.